Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the European crossover webinar. And we did have some news, economic news. We did get UK unemployment rate come out a couple of hours ago. That came in at right in line with the forecast, which was 4.5%. Unemployment was down 51,000, a little bit less than what they expected. And the change, 235,000. And then we did get German wholesale prices. Those came in at 13.2% with a month over month at 0.8. And in the next hour, or top of the next hour, we'll get German zoo numbers. We'll also be getting Eurozone, will be the zoo expectations, business optimism index. And later on this morning, ECB is not, and Villeroy will be speaking. And Lagarde will be speaking at 9 a.m. Eastern. At 10 a.m. Eastern, we will get JOLTS job openings. And Fed's Clarita will be speaking at 11:15 a.m. As will Bostic, but that'll be at 12:30. And then we do have a 3-year note auction and 10-year. That'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern. We did go on and see NASDAQ make a new low just by a hair, and now we've started to recover at this moment. You see here, we're pushing higher. Off these lows. So we did break late in the day, and then we continued that as we closed below the VWAP from the lows on October 4th. Made that push lower, and we'll recover a bit from there. S&Ps look like they've, on a 2-hour chart, put in a little bit of a hammer. Same thing here on a 2-hour chart on the NASDAQ. And take a look where we stand with crude oil. That's $1.50 off the lows, I mean from the highs from yesterday. And gold not doing too much, a couple of dollars higher from yesterday. And the dollar index still a little bit higher. Dollar yen, which has made just a furious run, is 13.29. We did have get up as high as 13.49. We do have that monthly resistance at 13.67. So we'll move on to the buyer's chart. Let's go and take a look at the euro. Nothing happening here in the euro. Look at that tight range yesterday. High was 15.87 and the low was 15.48. Holy smokes. So only about a 40 pip range basically. And this is where the real resistance will come in, that 16.24. Nowhere close to it. 1541 with a huge weekly pivot at 1496. So there's no news there, but that's what we're holding up at. Take a look at the cable. Interesting how we closed. We closed got at the lows of the session essentially yesterday. We had our resistance at 36.61. Didn't get as high as 36.72. And support would be 35.16. We're going to go in and keep that 35.16 because it looks like we could even try and push lower, but that's where the real support's going to come in. Maybe not. Let's see right here. Yeah, 35.16. We may not see that today, but if we do break lower, that's where we would find the support right there, 35.16. So we're going to keep that, and we'll keep the 36.61 resistance. So not much of a change. Moving into the Aussie dollar, we continue to push higher. Remember the Aussie dollar, we moved this up to 73.70. They actually got up as high yesterday as 73.72, so not bad. We had 73.70. They dipped back a little bit and they're trying to power ahead. We'll keep this 73.70. And you can see where that I'm coming up with that from right there. See that? We'll go and add that there. Actually, that level comes in, looks like it comes in 73.72. So we do 73.70 there. And moving on to the dollar yen. Man, this thing's just been a rocket ship, to say the least. It's going to be 13.67, that weekly level that we're talking about. And support now. I'll go right there. 12.67 if we do pull back. Moving into the cash dollar index. We're still holding up pretty well here in the cash dollar index. We did have 94.37. We're keeping it pretty tight. The high today so far is, it's like 43. A lot of touches coming across here, that 43. See that? Here and here. I comes in right there at 43. The body comes in there at 37, but you can see those. So just touching those areas. I don't know, unless we break lower. What could drive this higher is if we get the CPI for tomorrow. 94.55. So we'll go to 94.55 in case We get that push CPI tomorrow. And moving on to Bitcoin. Man, we are still holding up here, Bitcoin. Look at that. So we're above that 57,693 that we had. I mean, they paired back a little bit from that, and then they closed right solid on it. We're just kind of holding in here. See that little pivot right there? That's 58,633. So let's go with that. And support. $56,771. And then moving on to S&Ps. You can see right there, that area we did hold 50.43.17. After breaking below that 55, that just opened the floodgates. And then resistance will now be that 43.55. But right now, we'll just go with the pivot, which is 43.48. It's not necessarily a pivot. You can see right there. And then moving into NASDAQ. And this is a move that I thought we were going to see today. And then, like I said, we had that outsized move to the upside, then the yank down, and then this was going to be key for today. But once again, like I said, then yesterday, look where we closed right below the VWAP off the lows. So that opened the door for us to move lower right here, which we did. In the next key area then on the break of this area would be that 14,592. They held it and bounced off it, and then they revisited it and took it out by just a touch. Actually went down to 14,586. I think on the 30-minute I had a number there. But anyway, but here's the 594. It's actually 592 on the 2-hour. So 14,592. Of course, it goes down there when I'm asleep because I was looking at it. And we'd actually, in Asia, we got up to around like 48, and then the market was stalling. We started to come back down, and we were at 29, I remember. So, went to sleep. And then, of course, like I said, we finally dipped down here, take out the lows by a few handles, and look how we snapped right back. And we're back here. Here's at 63, and they're kind of working back from that. Resistance now would have to be 14,716. You can see that coming across 14,716. If you think about it, that's where we saw a rebound off of that level before we rotated lower. This was right in here. In case we don't see it here on the 30-minute. We had rebounded off of that and we rallied. And I was thinking, okay, well, that pivot is going to be like the 14,732 or 729. Apologize, meant 14,829. Yeah, that's where it is right there. Corrected myself right there. And we went right here. So that's where, but I'm saying here that is not correct. We have to move higher. So it would actually be for right now 14,736. And actually, I don't think we're going there, but it would be 14,750. Here's that zone that we came into. This is what I'm talking about when it first broke. And then we rebounded back up in here. And insurance, they're going to make it back up to 729. They stop like at 717 or something. And then they pull back. And then you can see here. And then once we broke below 800, that opened the door. And then getting below this area here. Now that was right on the close. Broke the VWAP and opened the door for them then to extend it. So next up is gold. We had 1767. I don't see any need to change anything. And 1743, so no changes there. And then next would be crude oil. We had, remember on that continuous chart, we had $82, so they topped out at 82.18. They've come off a decent amount. We're going to keep the 82. Well, we'll probably lower it now. I don't think we're going to be back up there. So we'll go right there. You see there? That's 80.95. Let's just go and draw. And support, we had 80.11 and the low is 80.02, so that wasn't too bad. Let's just move this a little bit lower, make it 79.74. And you can see here in the triple Qs, because they're open. You know, that's why I prefer tracking the triple Qs versus just the NDX. So these are triple Qs against the NASDAQ. But you can see here they tagged at 61%. That allowed for us to go and come back. And if we take a look, you can see here, I had this volume area here at 589. This is from Asia. And the low today is 586.5. But you can see there was volume coming in. I have to open this up though. There's the 589 there. And the 608 coming in here. So knowing you will be looking to not only cover, you might even consider getting long at that point, considering how deep the move had gone. And you're seeing something similar to go further back. Let's go way back. I don't want to have to reset it again, but you can see right here. So okay, so there we have it. There's the bias chart, and we're going to get that posted. And thanks for joining us here in the European crossover webinar. And we'll see you in the chat room.